Hey, this is FGMX and welcome back to another video where today we're going to be creating some common icons in Adobe Illustrator. The icons we're going to be creating are the Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and the battery icons. You can see these icons everywhere. I can even see them in my computer right now as I'm recording this. So we're working in Illustrator because one, it has really good and flexible tools to create icons, and it can also export in an SVG format, which will be important later on. And number two, works seamlessly with other Adobe apps like After Effects or Premiere. So without any further ado, let's get started. So we're going to start off with the Wi-Fi icon. First thing you want to do is select the ellipse tool. Then you want to click anywhere on the artboard. This window will pop up and you want to enter in the size as 200 by 200 pixels. Click OK and you'll see that a circle pops up in our exact dimensions. Next, you want to go to the properties panel and set the stroke as 15 points. No fill is needed for this thing. And then click on stroke and set the align option to align inside, which is the middle option. Now once you've got that, select your circle and hit Control Command C, and then instead of Control Command V, we're going to instead press Control Command F, which actually pastes the object directly in front of the original object instead of somewhere else. So we're going to grab this circle, and in the transform panel, we'll change the size from 200 by 200 to 150 by 150. Then we're going to repeat the same process, Command C, Command F, select the circle, then we're going to change it from 150 by 150 to 100 by 100, and then Command C, Command F, and we're going to select that last circle and change it to 50 by 50 pixels. So you want to swap the stroke for a fill, and we're going to be left with a target kind of looking shape. So what you want to do for this icon to work is select the first three circles, the one with the strokes, and go to Object and Expand Appearance. So what this is going to do is going to change the stroke to a fill, but it's still going to make it look like a fill. So we do this because the tool that we're going to use eventually is actually going to not like working with strokes in this particular situation. So what we're going to do is now we're going to select the line segment tool, which is a backslash, I believe. So we're going to select the line segment tool and we're going to go to the center of the circles, and we're going to hold Shift and Alt and drag diagonally this way, and we're going to stop. And then deselect it and go back to the line segment tool and do the same thing again, hold Shift and Alt, but this time drag in the other direction. Now deselect the line we just created. Now as you can see, it's divided into fourths, and 1/4 of it looks like the Wi-Fi symbol. So in order to separate only a fourth of it, we'll use a tool called the Shape Builder tool. The Shape Builder tool takes the shape and splits it into separate parts based on the different intersections. So in this case, it uses the line segment, which we just used to split the target into fourths, as intersections to split the rest of it. So we can just take off the rest 3/4 and make it just 1/4 of it, which is, of course, the Wi-Fi symbol. So what we want to do is select everything and go to the Shape Builder tool. So this is important right here. Hold Alt and drag through the 3/4 of it, the bottom 3/4. So drag through everything but the 1/4 of it, which looks like the Wi-Fi symbol. So drag through it while holding Alt. Then once you let go, it's disappeared. So now you have the Wi-Fi symbol. So to clean up, just select and delete the remaining lines, and you guys have it, the Wi-Fi logo. So next we're going to create the Bluetooth logo. So if we break it down, it's basically a straight line with an X going through the middle, and the right side end of the X is connected to the straight line. So let's make that. So first select the line segment tool and click anywhere on the artboard. This window pops up and we'll make the length 150, the rotation is 90 degrees. So click OK, and then click on the artboard again and set the size to 105 with angle at 45 degrees. Click OK and drag the line to the center of the first vertical line that we created. So click again on the artboard and keep the size as 105, but change the angle to 135 degrees. Now click OK and drag the line to the center of the vertical line. Next, what you want to do is select the pen tool, click on the point right over here, the edge of the X, the top edge of the X, then go to the top point and click that one. Now you can see that these points are connected, and so is the stroke. So we'll do the same with the bottom half of the icon. So once you do that, you're done. Just group it all together, adjust the stroke if you're going to scale it up or down. That's it. That wasn't hard, was it? So now for the final icon, the battery icon, which is actually pretty simple. So now, first select the round rectangle tool and click anywhere on the artboard. Make it 200 by 200 pixels with a radius of 12 and click OK. Make the stroke like 5 or 6 points. And what we're going to do is copy this rectangle, so Command C, then paste it in front, which is Command F. Now, this is the most important part. We're going to scale it down in a way where all the edges, or the distance between the first and second rectangle, are even, except for the corners. Once you figured it out, it should look kind of like this. So we're going to adjust the corner radius to align it with the size of all the other edges, because having the same radius as the bigger rectangle makes it look uneven. So now once you've aligned it as close as you can get, we'll swap the stroke for a fill, so now it looks like the battery icon we see everywhere. Just the size as you please. For the finishing touch, we're going to select the ellipse tool and click on the artboard. Make the size 30 by 30 and hit OK. Make sure it's a fill, not a stroke, okay? So we're going to put in the things that we learned about the shape builder tool to use to split this circle in half. So we're going to take the line segment tool and draw a line straight through the middle of the circle. Now we're going to select the line of the circle and go to the shape builder tool, hold Alt and drag through the left half of the circle. Poof, it's gone. Select the excess line segments and delete them and drag the remaining semicircle next to the battery icon. You usually want the circle about the same distance away from the battery as the distance of the second rectangle from the first rectangle. So from there you can squash and stretch it how you please to make it look like those battery icons that we see everywhere, like one on my computer right now. Oh, I'm gonna have to charge it up. Okay, so once you group the objects, there you have it. You have a battery icon. At the very beginning of the video, I mentioned that one of the benefits of using Illustrator is the fact that you can export in SVG. Well, the advantage of SVG is that it does not lose quality when you scale it up. So for example, when you're animating in SVG in After Effects, you can increase the size to however large you want and the edges remain sharp and crisp. So you can export each of these icons as SVGs and use them in your projects. But if you use other Adobe programs like me, then you might be able to copy the objects in Illustrator and paste them into, say, After Effects. Another option for importing Illustrator files is just importing the whole .ai project file. It'll bring in all the objects in that project, and using After Effects as an example, it'll split them into a standalone composition which contains the separate layers of the Illustrator project. If you split into layers in Illustrator, and I'm not going to teach you guys how you split into layers because that's not really important to this tutorial. So now that you have the benefits of creating any icons in Illustrator, why don't you just give the ones that I showed you today a try? And keep experimenting and have fun creating interesting shapes and glyphs. And that's all I have for today. Thanks for sticking for this really long tutorial, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.